Hi there, I'm Melissa Nielsen, and guess what time it is? It's time to start planning for school for next year. Now, you might be thinking, especially if you're new to us, Melissa, what are you talking about? It's April. It is April, but every year, at least for the last few years, we've run Planning for Peace. Now, I realize it's backwards for you, but Planning for Peace is a 5-month program that we run for the Northern Hemisphere and for the Southern Hemisphere. We run it for the Northern Hemisphere from April to September, and for the Southern Hemisphere from September to December. So it's a program where we go through and we take you through all the steps of planning. And, why does it take so long? Well, here's the deal. Even though like we have probably the most open and go Waldorf curriculum there's still planning involved. Why is there planning involved? Well, because this is a method where you need it to live in you, and if it doesn't live in you, then it's not. It kind of comes off as dead when you pass it then to your children. So in order for it to live in you, you have to go through some proper planning. So with that, we go through this program every year. We've been doing it. I think this is year 4. I always did a planning program before that, but what I did about 4 years ago was I took all of the forms that I had sort of created for myself over the past, almost 20 years of planning and Waldorf homeschooling, and I put them all together in one space. So it doesn't matter what curriculum you use for this. You could use somebody else's curriculum. I won't get angry at you. Just come and plan. Nobody else has what we have with regards to Planning for Peace. We sort of take you through all the steps, starting with, understanding where you are with your knowledge with Waldorf. And if you're brand spanking new, you're really going to want to dive into these things. So we take you through where you are, what skills you probably need to try to accumulate before the fall or before school starts. We take you through all the planning process, from planning out the big chunks of the blocks down to planning the weeks within the blocks, and then each school week as well. So we do that over this period of time, and we lay it out in such a way that it allows you to not feel like you're cramming at the end. So, in Waldorf, we really want to have, especially for those first 3 grades, we really want to have those main lesson drawings done, or at least practiced by the time school starts. And I like to have at least the first 6 to 8 weeks, really and truly the first semester done, if at all possible. And so this gives you the time and the opportunity to do that. So we walk through this planner together, and we have a digital copy of it on our website. Also, if you purchase curriculum from us this year, you'll get a digital copy of Planning for Peace with your curriculum. So if you're planning to use our curriculum, you'll probably want to hop over and purchase that now, and you'll have a copy of Planning for Peace. It's in your files, and then you'll get also access to the Planning for Peace group. So the Planning for Peace group is where we'll be running the program, and the program is two Saturdays a month from now until September. Now, it's okay if you miss one, or maybe you're going on vacation, which we all hope we're going on vacation at some point when this is all over, right? But right now, nobody's going anywhere. So we do 2 weekends a month, and what we'll do is we'll go through each one, because it's broken up into months. So I'll show you. And if you're catching us on YouTube, we have other videos on Planning for Peace, so you can catch some more in-depth ones. But we start that first month with sort of ranking where you think you are with regards to things like holding the space and rhythm, and your planning. Like, how do you think you did last year? And if you're brand spanking new, I want you to ask yourself, okay, what do I think it's going to take? Because it's going to take more than you think it is. So you should hop on and ask us questions if you have them. But we go through sort of understanding yourself, understanding temperament a little bit more in that first month. And then we break it down. We go through and do helping you understand where your time goes, helping you understand menu, getting all that done. We do all that in that first month, so that you really have the opportunity to really practice through the next few months. And it's a great time right now because you're at home. But even if you weren't, I have a lot of people that have said to me, Melissa, I just can't think about the future right now. And I'm just going to to ask you to take a deep breath, because there's really nothing else to think about right now. Staying well and the future. And when we stop hoping and we stop believing and we stop having faith in the future, then that's when things start to end for us. And we don't want to crawl into that hole of depression and sadness. What we want to do is look forward to the future. So I'm just going to tell you, if you're in that spot, hop over and catch some of our more meditative videos, or our videos about being an agent and sort of just picking yourself up. Tag me on the Ask Melissa and Eric group if you've got questions, or you really just need somebody to give you a swift little kick in the bum or even a hug. I can do both. So, you really want to start thinking about planning. The very first Planning for Peace call will be Saturday, the 11th of April. So you should be watching this on the 7th of April. So just sort of giving you heads up. If you're watching it later, totally fine. Just letting you know that's when we start. You can absolutely join later. You'll have catch up to do if you join later. The way we've portioned it out is when you sort of join and go the route that we're taking, you'll have all of your planning done by the beginning of the school year. So ways that you can do Planning for Peace. Like I said, you can buy curriculum through us, and even if you buy a hard copy of the curriculum, or you go and buy a hard copy of the planner, and you just shoot us your receipt, then we'll give you access to the digital portions of it. So there's one way. You can buy Planning for Peace through, you get it when you buy Thinking, Feeling, Willing, the monthly program. So that's $26. So you'd have access to the Planning for Peace journal there. You can just print it out and pop it in a binder, which is what a lot of people do. And truly, it's a really good thing to do it that way, because then you have it year after year, and you just print out what you need and put it in a binder, and you can add tabs to it for your kids. What I usually do with this one is I color code it for my kids. So I've got 2 kids at home these days, and I'll use washi tape on the pages that are Sam's and a different color on the pages that are Soraya's. So that will help me sort of keep track of it. I use this all the time. My notes don't end up going as deep as other people's notes because I've been at this for so long, but I utilize every ounce of this planner, like every ounce of it. Also, if you buy it from the publisher, which we'll go ahead and link in the comments, if you buy it from the publisher, you can choose which size you want. So there's this size that's it's about half the size of 8.5 by 11 paper. So we have a couple of different ones. There's one that's just for grades only kids. There's one for if you've got a child in kindergarten and a child in the grades. There's also one that's only for kindergarten families. And there's also one that doesn't have this front end of all the inner work stuff. And it's just sort of an extra if you've got extra kids. So lots of us have extra kids. So I just wanted to just really take the time to talk about why Planning for Peace is important. Even if you don't use our planning system, it is very important to start planning right now for the new school year. It will be here before you know it, and you'll think, oh, I just got to get through this pandemic stuff, and then I can think about it. Guess what? The pandemic stuff is going to end, and then we're all going to try to get back to some sort of normalcy. And in that, you're going to lose this precious time that you have right now to plan. So I highly recommend you taking the time to get started on this planning now. Like I said, Planning for Peace starts Saturday, April 11th. And we actually have a couple of different ways that we do it. So we usually spend the first hour of me giving instruction on what to focus on for the month. And then for the next 2 months, we'll also be breaking up to do the first week, we'll also do an emphasis on grades 10, 11, and 12 for the second hour. So I spend a lot of time with our Planning for Peace families because I have a real vested interest. I am super committed to you getting the planning time that you need. So we go through high school, we go through middle school, and we go through the things that are different for the younger grades as well. And we spend a lot of time on kindergarten. I spend a lot of time with that because I truly want you to feel like you are confident with the school year. So important to me. And like I said, whether you use our curriculum or some other higher priced curriculum that doesn't have any training or support with it, I don't know why you would do that. But even doesn't matter whose you use, this process is an incredible process. So highly encourage you to start thinking about your planning and come and join us for Planning for Peace. We'll have links in the description here so that you can, grab everything that you need. But again, if you're thinking, feeling, willing, monthly or lifetime member, you already have it. It's in Mom Lesson 6. So if you're a lifetime member, you can order a hard copy, and you can do that through, through the site. And if you want a hard copy and you're not a member of that program, you can go to our publisher site and you can order it, and then just send us your receipt and we'll get you access to it. So, people have said, is it different from 2019 to 2020? I know some of our branding still says 2019. It's not any different. We'll have some revisions to the planner probably for next year, but right now we're using exactly the same one we did last year. So if you have a Planning for Peace digital copy from last year, you can just print it out and pop it in a binder and be ready to go with us next week. So if you have any questions, drop us a note. We're happy to help, and we hope to see you in Planning for Peace. I know it will be, it's a lot of fun when we plan together. We do group coaching calls over Zoom, and, sometimes there's 20 people there, sometimes there's 80 people there, but we always stay until all the questions are answered. So what we recommend that you do is join, and I usually spend the first hour talking a little bit about what you should focus on for the month. And then if you feel like you've got questions that you want me to make sure that I answer, you can always email those to me and I'll answer them. You don't have to be there live. All Planning for Peace sessions are recorded, and then they're put in the Planning for Peace section of either Thinking, Feeling, Willing or the Planning for Peace group. So let us know if we can help you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And truly, if you're struggling, and I know so many are, we have had some struggles this week, and really, for every mom that's got a child that's got special needs, my heart is so with you. We have struggled so much with Soraya this last few weeks, and it's not her fault. And it's really hard sometimes to be her mom. And I just want to hug her, and just hug her so tight that I can make the things that are hard go away, and I can't. And so, if you're in that spot, out for a walk if you can. I know, like right now for us, we're in California. All the trails are closed. All the beaches are closed. There's no, obviously there's no playground open. The parks are closed. So we can walk on the sidewalk, and that's about it, which is really hard for a child that is sensory seeking and really bouncy. So we're doing more walks than we usually do. We had been doing about 3 miles a day, but some of those were trail walks, and we would go other places, and we're finding we need more walking to wear her out right now. So if you're struggling and you're going through something like this, my heart, like I said, my heart just goes out to you. Even the parents that don't have kids on the spectrum and don't have those kinds of struggles, I know you're struggling because you're like, oh my gosh, can you just stop touching things? So make sure you're getting the time that you need for yourself. I mentioned in our video that we do a recap for our office hours every week, and that's over on our IGTV. You can grab that there. But I mentioned over there that, truly the best thing you could do is sit down with your partner and say, okay, I know you need this time, whether it be because they're, home, working from home, or maybe they've been furloughed. Sadly, I know there's so many that's the reality of, but I'm just saying, just sit down together and say, I need help. I need help. I need help. I need a break in the day. Can you please give me a 30-minute to an hour break twice in the day so that I can breathe and I can be a better mom and I can be a better wife and I can be a better partner and I can show up the way I want to show up. So just communicate. It's so, so important. So that's my little service announcement tacked on to Planning for Peace. But please do go ahead and get started with Planning for Peace. You will not regret it. It is an amazing planning system. We have oodles of people who have done it. I've never had one person go through Planning for Peace, do all the work and say, man, I wish I hadn't done that. Never. Everybody who does the work comes out on the other side changed. They come out on the other side with a better grasp of their rhythm and a better grasp of what they're feeding their family, a better grasp of understanding the festivals, a better grasp of the curriculum itself, a better grasp of what it takes to create a beautiful lesson plan. So, it's my prayer that you'll come and you'll join us, and we'll have a good time. So I hope you have a good week. We'll see you soon.